Hey now, how we doing, y'all? We are back at it. We've got a few things to take care of here, and we're on the final stretch. Yes, we need to place your cover here, right? Now, your cover is probably a PSD file, and what we can do is I want you to locate it. Now, your major cover should, of course, be in your cab class, and let's just hop back here. And what I'm going to do is go to your major projects folder in cab class. Open up your Photoshop file right here. And I want you to go into your working file. Now, what did we do here in our finals? Did we save one out? No, we didn't. I didn't think so. That's what we're going to do at this time. Okay. So if you go ahead and do open up your working file. Okay. Now mine actually is in cab class. Sorry, let me go into my cab class. And I have my major projects, of course. And then I have my major projects, and then I have my Photoshop, and then I have my working. There we go. So you're all there. We should have this, right? A PSD file. Yes? Amazing. Shit, maybe we did save the CMYK version out. I can't remember. I forget. I'm getting old. So that being said, do this with me regardless. It says PS4, but of course we know it's a PS5 cover. And yes, I've made the adjustments. I just haven't changed the name of it. So yours should be your name, Major One PS5 cover. Proof, yes? Now, double click on this for me. This is your working file, right? Remember this? Way back in week 6 or 4 or whatever it is? You should have all of this stuff, all right? Oh my goodness. So we got tons of layers and work that we did and masks and so on. We've got our footer, we've got our title copy, our main guitar here, and you've got yours, of course. And then, of course, we've got this set up. Now, this is our PS5 cover. You ready? Open yours up with me. You'll notice I have my bleed on it. I have my live area on it, and I have my trim on it. This matches identical to our InDesign file. And we set it up in such a way that, again, 5, right? For the main, we have an inside trim or inside live area of 0.125. We have an outside bleed of 0.125. You'll notice again, there's no bleed on the spine, and hence why we don't have it there, but we do have our live area. So this should be identical to the one that we will be placing. First step, y'all, you ready? Let's rock and roll. Flatten. We're going to discard hidden layers for sure. I don't need anything. I'm happy with this the way it is. Okay. We need to go to image. Just make sure your image size is at 300. This is where we want to be. You have a file like this, I'm hoping. Okay. 5.127. For some reason, InDesign does not like 1/8 of an inch at 5. Must be in between a pixel. And 6.25. And that's perfect, right? Good. Just double check it. Mode. CMYK. Change that up, please. It's going to say about copy and web swap coded, etc. And this is fine. Hit OK. Notice what happened here. We talked about color shifts. How did the color shift affect it? Did it affect it? Probably. Let's have a look at our history for a second and just see what the color shift looked like, right? So there's our history. Go back to CMYK color, RGB. CMYK color, RGB. I'm going to zoom in. Let's have a look. CMYK color, RGB. The reds lose a little bit of the loss, like the nice punchy of it. But truthfully, y'all, you should notice, depending, of course, on what color your cover is overall. I am hoping that in Photoshop, the conversions are typically much more subtle than in Illustrator. Remember, we looked at our color theory one and how we swapped the colors from RGB to CMYK. And I talked about this throughout the semester. So we should be okay. Okay. At the end of the day, we have to make it CMYK for a printed file regardless. So it doesn't, honestly, we gotta make it work. Yeah. Now, next step, file, save as. Remember, it's a PSD file right now. Okay. And it's saved inside our working file for our major cover. What I'm going to do here is, hey, you may want to do this actually. Let's save it in 2 places. Go into your main cab class, go into your main projects, Photoshop cover. I want you to save one right here in your finals and your Photoshop cover. It's great that we do this. And maybe we already did this. So you're like, yeah, dude, I have one. So I'm going to save it as a TIFF file. Yes, go ahead and do that with me. Of course, it's a PS5, not a PS4. Sorry. There you go. Not 6. That's coming 2006, I believe, or 8. It's still quite a ways, actually. PS5 video game cover proof and save. TIFF, leave it as is and hit OK. Nice. So I saved that in our major project folder, right? For Photoshop. Let's do a save as. Command-Shift-S. I'm going to also save another copy into my CAD class. And I'm going to save it in my major projects for my InDesign as well. Okay, so I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to put one there in my Photoshop. I'm going to do this and put this in my like all my mandatory info. There we go. I want you to save a copy in your mandatory info as well. Okay, TIFF file. It should default to there. It's flattened. Name it out. This is proof. You may want to change the name. Actually, I do this all the time. Instead of proof, what I call this out as is to place. I know I'm very obvious about it, but PS5 cover, and then I might do an underscore to place TIFF. Nice. I can't miss it. I know I got to place this in InDesign. It is in all of my files for InDesign. It's a TIFF. It's CMYK at 300, swap coded. Boom. Okay. Yay. You've officially got your cover ready to rock and roll. Yes, pardon the pun. Hey, we're dealing with rock and roll. All right, so what I can do now, you ready? Do this with me. Find your cover, flatten it, CMYK it, and what we're going to do is a Command D. You now have that file, PS file logo to place right here, TIFF file, and I want you to open that, okay? It's going to give you these options. Just hit OK. Now, we know that your cover should be exactly the size of what's here. So I am hoping that you can go here and place this right there in the corner and check it out. You officially have a perfect bleeded cover. I didn't really use my live area too much for the cover, so that's fine. But that is in essence where we want to be with this. Now, interestingly enough, did I accidentally, maybe I messed up on my white space for my cover here overall. Or is that, it is 1.5, right? From here to there. And maybe I was mistaken. Let me have a look here. 3/4 of an inch, right? 7.5. And I think that's what we did. Height 7.5 from bleed, right? So, is this box incorrect? Sorry, right? I'm just like going through this. Oh, because 0.75, I did it from trim. Shit, my bad. So notice the 0.75 was actually from bleed. There it is, my bad. So this is correct. I'm sorry, all. I gave you that guide way back when there. You can almost get rid of that guide. You can actually select on a guide and delete it, hit delete, and that'll get rid of it. My bad, I apologize. So in the last video, we set that up. It was, but I was incorrect. That being said, I'm happy with this now. Go ahead, and what I want to do is send to back, right? Now, I may, at this time, everyone, do a layer. I may call this out as main front cover. Okay? Got it? What I now want you to do is let's select on the main front cover like so. I want you to go here on that little green dot that's there, and I want you to move the green dot up. Show and hide. Nice. This is what we want, okay? Now, clearly my layers need fixing because I have all of my images that are underneath, right? So what we can do is I want you to grab that main cover and I want you to drop it down. Hey, there's everything, right? Because we had that, move it down, and now our PS logo is there. We've got our main logo there. I've got this logo now there, okay? Clearly, I need to rethink my positioning and so on, but that's great. you've officially got your front cover placed, okay? Now, these additions, I think we had, yes, we have it fit too. So there we go, y'all. I'm just going to place that logo in there like so. Hit the W key, have a look at it. Make sure, again, it's centered, which would be good. I'm pretty happy with that and placement and size. It may be a little bit bigger, but if you have a look at other previous, I want you to do your homework, have a look at other PS5 covers, see that you don't make it very similar to what that looks like, okay? Now this one should be really close and I'm happy with that. So that looks good. I may actually bring this down in size. I'm finding it is maybe a little too big. Again, I might go to fit to frame right here or auto fit, and then I can size it holding shift. Yeah, that's better. I found it was a little bit too intrusive. I think it is supposed to be smaller. And so I'm going to do that. Okay. Nice. Notice mine actually got cropped off. So have a look at your logos. Make sure you don't accidentally have that cropped off like that. Okay. So I'm going to just, there we go. Much better. Okay. And yes, that looks much nicer, right? Have it kind of centered. I hit the W key because the W key allows me to see it, with trim and without trim. So I can kind of see what it looks like. The spacing here is nice, right? From the white edge to the top. Spacing from the top of my cover to the bottom of, or where my image starts is nice, right? I should be able to use that guide here, my 1/8 of an inch, but you know what? That looks really happy, makes me feel good. Maybe the best in game here. Oh shoot, it actually looks pretty good like that. So I might just put my gaming logo there. I may have rethought, do I want this here? I don't think so. It's not necessary. And maybe I'll even swap this over here. Do I like that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's not bad. I don't know if I want that there now. Now that I look at it, now that I think about it, have a look at it. Does it fit? It kind of stands out like a sore thumb. I think if you're going to do something like that, I almost need like, 3 of them. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3. There's so many awards. We can't contain it. So that being said, maybe I'll get rid of them. You do you. Now, that's solid. I'm happy. I've got my front cover placed, flattened, CMYK'd, 300 DPI, and good to go as a TIFF. Nice. You ready? What I want to do next is I want to show you how quickly you can do your back cover. You ready? If you choose to do a Photoshop back cover, ready? Do this with me. Command Z, 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 Z. Yes. Get back into your main cover. Yes. You can even, of course, close it down and don't, you've got it saved as. So now you can go back into your PSD file. If I'm going to do a back cover, y'all, really quickly, what you can do is I'm going to do a Command Shift S. All right. I may save this out as back cover. This won't be my placed one. I may even call it back cover layered or working. Okay. Now, TIFF actually does support layers, everyone. Not sure if you knew that, but I'm just going to make sure it's a PSD file so I don't get confused. Because with a TIFF layer or a TIFF to place, obviously we're going to name it. But let's just say that, resave it. Now notice the name changes, back cover working. Nice. Let's go in. And what I'm going to do, everyone, is I'm going to just make this really simple. And how quickly we can turn something like this into a back cover, right? So what I'm going to do, everyone, is yes, I've got quite a bit going on here. I may just hide some of my elements, right? I'm going to go in again. You do you. I don't even know if you want to use a title page, you may want to use a title page. For this example, I want to move on and just be quick with it. But notice I'm going to leave this. I'm going to take this guitar. I'm going to do a rotation, Command T, as we worked on in Photoshop. And I'm just going to enlarge this to the back. Something like that is kind of neat. Y'all, Command S. Remember, this is a back cover working. Okay. Back into InDesign. Command D. Back cover working. Awesome. I'm going to hit OK. and I'm going to place this right here. Amazing. Now remember, I've used the original file here. I know the document size is perfect. So all I did was I used this size, made a few adjustments, and I'm going to place it. I have an instant back cover that I can use now, right? Awesome. Yeah. Clearly my spine needs some work because I probably would put a black box within that. And that's easy enough to do with the, with the box or the frame hitting the M key. So if I hit the M key at this moment, right, I can then have my, depending on your cover and whatever you want to do and how it looks, of course, we're all going to have a different cover. But I'm going to just do a frame right here. Have it snap to like that, right? We can fill that in black. Now, keep in mind, the challenge with doing this, everyone, is your fill, your black that you use for the back and the front is a rich, rich black. It has, remember we talked about the print side of things and how CMYK, right? So this gets a little dangerous because what's happening is it's actually like, it's a rich black is what I'm getting at. So just be careful if you're doing something like this. I almost would advise against using different colored blacks. The reason being is when it prints, and I know from experience, this is going to look very different than this. This is going to look gray. Does that make sense? Remember how we looked at black and gray and how just 100% black is literally just the presses need more color to it, if that makes sense. So you know what I'm going to do here all is I may actually, let's see if this will work. Hey, check it out. I'm literally going to use this. I just did the I key, eyedropper. I hit the shift key. And by hitting shift with the eyedropper, it will allow you to pick up colors within the object, which is kind of nice, right? So notice what I'm doing here. Sorry. Try that again. The eyedrop. I'm hitting shift and click. Nice. That looks better. I'm going to go with that instead. Okay. Now, I'm going to do just a red spine. That looks happy, happy. Hit the W key. It's coming together, y'all. Coming together. Yes. I'm happy with this. I do find that I probably would work with my, my main cover. I'm finding that this should be closer to the bottom. And I also want it longer. Okay, so I would need to make some adjustments to that, and I probably should have done that before I placed it. At the end of the day, keep in mind, I know this is perfectly placed. If you do feel like you want to adjust it, though, on the size-wise, notice how I can, in fact, just enlarge it. Actually, no, don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to minimize the spacing up here. So I'm going to keep mine as is. Let's call that a video. That gets us our cover front and back placed. I did a really, really simple Photoshop back cover. And then again, this is where you're going to go into your T tool and you're going to place some copy, right? You're going to have some fun, maybe place a heading, etc. You do you on the back cover. I'm going to do a Command S and save this out right now. Sorry, before I end this video, what I did want to show you is, remember, this is a PSD file still. See that? So we have not flattened it and saved it properly. And this is only if you want to do this, but I wanted to show you, you have the option to do so, right? What we can do here is I'm going to go in, I'm going to do the edit. It'll take me back to my original cover, right? Now what I'll do is maybe I've decided, no, I don't like that. I'm going to actually put my guitar over here and do something like that. It's kind of neat. Okay. Have it kind of bleed off. There we go. All right. Now you're ready. What we need to do next, do this with me. If you've decided to do something like this, flatten. Yes. Okay. Actually, shit, we should probably save that, right? Command S. This is our layered working PSD file. We now have that saved in there. You'll notice if you go back to InDesign, it will update for you. So that's kind of neat. Now, though, we need to make it a TIFF file, don't we? So we, in essence, still need to, we're going to have to resave this out. Make sense? So do this with me. Flatten. Hit OK. Mode. CMYK. Yes. Command Shift S. Don't save over your PSD file right now, remember. So Command Shift S, right? Now change that from a PSD file to a TIFF, okay? As mentioned, back working, we're going to change the name as well to place TIFF, save. Good. So now you will notice it's flattened, CMYK color. We should still be at 300 DPI. Size is perfect. Guides are there. I'm going to go back in here. Now, you'll notice nothing will update, of course. The reason being, remember, is I'm still connected to that PSD file. So, you ready? Let's try this together. You'll notice, maybe you've seen this or maybe not, you can, in fact, go back to relink the file. Okay? If I go to relink, it will then ask you to go find it again, even though it is there. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is I'm just going to swap out my PSD file for my, you named it, right? Our TIFF file. So I'm going to go back into my, sorry, not working. I'm going to go back into my originals, mandatory, back cover to place, and hit open. It's going to then give you these options. I'm going to hit OK. Amazing. Notice nothing changed. The only thing that happened was I have back cover now to place TIFF. This is the one I want, okay? The cool thing about using the PSD file all is you can, of course, go back and forth until your client has decided that they are happy with it. Notice how my client wanted me to change the guitar before we hit the press. So I had to go in and I made that change. Make sense? Okay, cool. Now notice this, oopsie, my frame here actually took on a white box that I didn't want. So I've got to fix this, and in order to do so, yeah, you know what, actually that's okay. I'll leave this as it is, because otherwise yeah, we'll do that. Okay, good. We'll do that. We'll do that. It's all good. And you're like, oh my God, moving things around here. We need to keep this within the border, of course. And that looks better, right? That looks better. All right. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's save this out. We'll end that video there. And then lastly, what we'll do is we'll just do a bit of typesetting. As mentioned, I hope, again, you're following along okay. We've got our own kick-ass cover here. Do up your own back cover, of course, whether you want to use Photoshop or not, that is just an option. If you want to do it in InDesign, you're more than welcome to do so. And we'll come maybe back to that in the next video. But truthfully, if you do want to just do a solid color background, you're more than welcome to do something like that if you wish. All right. And then, of course, you can place it in. But that is going to be where we're at for the next video. I'm going to leave mine in here because I was somewhat happy with it. All right. Now, again, check out your layers. There's our main front. And you know what? We're going to change this out to be main front and back. Good. Sorry. There we go. Main front and back cover. Shit, that's actually our spine too, isn't it? Now we have the spine here, but what we did, everyone, is we just kind of called it out, right, as a placer and as a placeholder. So that being said, because I made my box here, truthfully, that spine layer isn't really necessary anymore. You can almost just delete that. Okay. And you're like, what? So there you go. Okay. If you want to get rid of it, you're more than welcome to do so at this time. All right. That being said, this is happy, right? As long as you, again, have showing me these, like we're working with our layers and we're doing so on and so forth. That's happy, makes me feel nice. Hope you're doing well. This is good, man. This is really good. I'm going to, again, did I say I'm going to end that video now? Going to end that video now. And the last portion is going to be this. We're going to typeset. I'm going to show you how to get it done because the typesetting is a bit of a challenge. In essence, what we've done really is placed a bunch of pictures, right? And move things around. So I'm hoping that that is happy. And let's move on. Oh, look at that. Siri was copying my... I swore. All right, good stuff. All right, moving on. Let's rock and roll. I'll end that video there. We'll come back. We'll do some typesetting and we'll call it a day. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back.